What I'm working on today is these ram horn manifolds. You're probably wondering why I'm not going to be running headers. Headers look way cooler. Yes, they do, but every set of headers I've put on, I've just had non-stop problems with leaking, burning up plug wires. I've got headers on the 5.3 that is in the 56 Buick. And let me tell you, these things, they're just, you can't see them, so why'd I even walk out here? But anyway, these things, they leak, they burn up the plug wires, just constant problems, just a big headache. The 84 I've got manifolds on, as well as the 72 Chevy pickup, and they work great. Keeps the heat down in the engine bay, doesn't burn up plug wires, seals well, don't have any issues with them. So I'm going to sacrifice being cool with functional, and I'm going to clean these up. Now these were actually in the trunk of the car when I bought this thing, and I ran the numbers on them, and they're actually 1957 manifolds from a 283. So these might be original to the car because this was a V8 car. This was a 283 car. So that's kind of cool in a way. Not like I care about factory correct. I really don't care about that stuff, but it's just kind of cool in a way. The problem is they were full of mud daubers nests because they've been sitting around for probably longer than I've been alive. And, they're just full of this mud. So I got a piece of brake line here, and I've been running it in there, and I've been going until nothing comes out, and trying to get it as clean in there as possible. Probably what I'll do after that is take these to the car wash and hose them out, just pressure wash them out to get anything else out of there. But that's what I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to hit it with the wire wheel. I was thinking about painting it, but I don't think I'm going to do that because the paint never stays on. I've tried it before and it just burns off. Yeah, I've even tried baking them in the oven. Doesn't work either. So just going to run them like this, but I'm going to clean all this heavy this surface rust off. Nice thing about these is I have my alternator bracket right there, so I don't need to figure out how to run the alternator with having those double hump heads that have no accessory bolt holes. So it should work out pretty good. And also another nice thing is there's no studs broken off. They all still have threads in there, so that's great. Alright, I got these all wire wheeled up down to basically metal. They look way better. And that's pretty much all that came off of them right there that I'm sweeping up. Right now I'm running a tap through all these holes, clean them out. They're just rusty. Just running that through so it'll go together smooth. And that's about it. Maybe I'll paint these. I don't know. All right, I got the trim pieces off. This is another reason why 50s cars are my favorite decade of vehicles. Is just how well they're made. I mean, this stuff is no joke. Really solid. Everything on these cars are just made to last. But anyways, the next step here is to figure out how this comes apart. Obviously there's a screw right here. I think there might be something in there to hold this corner on. Gotta look into that, do some research on that, I guess. I don't want to damage anything, so I'm not gonna just go trying to figure it out by prying on stuff, obviously. Hey guys, what's up? Friday night, out here working on the 57. I just got a package in from Summit Racing, which means I'm gonna get to put an engine together here. Let me show you what I got. This is a start. There's still so much that I need, but this is basically a start of getting this thing together. Show you the cam first. So here's the specs on the cam. 466 lift. I hope it won't be too big. I want a nice chop, but I didn't want it to be too big where I couldn't run the vacuum brakes. I think this is going to be just right for my application. I don't have to worry about stall on a converter because it's obviously 4-speed transmission. And that's about as far as that goes. It's a Summit 1104 cam. And this here, these are genuine GM lifters. These are the best lifters you can get from Summit. They come in these little individual baggies, but that's not what makes them the best lifters. The reason why they're the best lifters you can get is because this little section right here, that's actually hardened and much better quality than your typical cheap aftermarket lifters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill a little bucket up with some of the Rotella T4 here. It's got zinc in it, diesel oil, and I'm going to pump these up before I put them in, get them all lubed up. And then I also have a new oil pump. This is I tried to find a regular, just stock oil pump, but I couldn't even find one on Summit's website. So what I got here is a high volume standard pressure pump. So it's not going to be higher pressure because those are problematic. I got an HEI distributor, Axel brand, however you say that. I just got the one off of Summit. I'm not going to open that all up right now, but actually it's going to be quite a while before that goes in there after the engine's all installed and everything. I just got the one off of Summit that had the best reviews. That's one of those things you don't want to get like a real cheap one because the coils are known to go out on them. This is a slightly better one, and the nice thing is it takes a factory cap and coil, so you can go to a parts store and pick one up. Engine assembly, grease, and then I got reusable head bolts, so I'll be able to take the heads off if I have a problem and reuse them, reuse the bolts, and then the gasket kit. So I'm gonna get that engine over here and stop talking and get to work and start doing that rear main seal. That's the first thing I gotta do, and then I can put the oil pump on and go from there. So I got the rear cap off of here. It looks really good. Obviously this crankshaft has been machined. I don't think it's new, but it's definitely been machined. It's really nice. Bearings are obviously new. Literally no wear on them whatsoever. They still have assembly lube on them. Even the rear main seal was put in correctly. You can see it was clocked a little bit lower on that side, up on that side, and this side matches, but there was no silicone on these edges, so it's very likely this would have leaked. Not like I was going to put this together without replacing this anyway, because I don't know when this was done, but it's still very rubbery, so I'm going to say it wasn't that long ago. Definitely the car was sitting for many years before all this was done, and then somebody did this stuff and gave up on it. But so I'm going to pop those out of there and put the new ones in and get everything. I'll definitely put a bunch of lube on here. Right now I'm dropping these new lifters in the oil, and then later on I'll just pump them up. Well, I'll probably just leave them in there until I'm ready to put them in so they don't get all rusty. Well, they're not going to get rusty when they're covered in oil, but leave them in there. Right now I have to get these heads all cleaned up. They were rebuilt at one point in time and never ran, by the looks of it anyway. But I'd have to clean up the head gasket surface and clean out these threads and make sure there's nothing in there, because these sat open for many years. We'll have to probably, I don't know what valve springs these are, I wish I knew, but I'll probably have to remove the inner ones to break in the cam. Well, I decided I'm going to pull the inner springs out on my valves so I don't risk flattening my cam when I'm breaking it in. So I went ahead and I picked up this, it's like $8 at O'Reilly's. Don't know how well it's going to work. That way I'll be able to take those inner springs out, and then what I'll do is, after I get the cam broke in, I'll take these mystery springs out the rest of the way, the outside ones, and I'll put the proper springs in there to go with the cam. And it should be good, because I really want this to go well. I don't want my engine to be full of trash and have to pull it out and do all this over again. So that's how that works, obviously. I've never actually used one of these before. I've never had the need to take out a valve spring. Just another tool I can add to my collection. I've got so many random tools like this. Alright, I got all the inner springs removed. Now I can kind of have peace of mind, not worrying about too much spring pressure and wiping out my new cam. Those probably won't be going back in since these are mystery springs. I have no idea what they are, and I think the double springs is totally unnecessary for this cam. I think the proper springs are just single springs. But I will get the proper springs once I break the cam in and swap these out. Alright guys, a lot of wire wheeling later. I got the heads all ready to go on. Really, they turned out a lot better than I thought they would. I shouldn't have any problem with them sealing up. See, nice smooth surface. Looking real good. I went through a few bottles of cleaner there, and I sprayed out all the passages. I like to use this stuff right here. I've used this on so many different head gaskets. I've lost track of how many times I've used that stuff, but some people say not to use it, but I've had good experience with this stuff and everything works out great. I've used it on, LS engines. I've used it on small engine rebuilds, and it's just good stuff. It might not be necessary, but it helps seal up any little imperfections that the gasket might not be able to make up for. So. Alright guys, my battery's almost dead, but I'm going to finish out this video. I'm going to call it a day. Got a lot done today on the 327. I got the lifters in. I didn't film any of that because my battery was just about dead. I soaked the lifters for 2 days and they should be full of oil. I even ran the push rod up and down in them to kind of pump them up, and got all my push rods and everything in there, and all the valves adjusted, so that's all ready to go. And next step would be probably to turn this thing over and work on the putting the oil pan on. But actually I gotta first drill out the hole for the bolt in the crank there. I've been putting that off, trying to put it off as long as I could. Anyway, the battery light's blinking now, so I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.